What up, everybody? The last two seasons of Book 2 Ghost, Tasha St. Patrick has only made a couple appearances on the show, as she is currently living in Whitsec after saying Tommy Egan was responsible for killing Ghost. But in the season 3 finale, Tommy and Tasha hashed things out, and Tommy forgave Tasha, and their relationship was restored. But before this happened, when Tasha asked Tommy how he found her, he replied, "Your friend Monet Tejada." Because of this, once everything was hashed out between Tommy and Tasha, Tasha went gunning for Monet, thinking for whatever reason Monet wanted her dead. So she pulled a drive-by, shooting up Monet and Diana's car in the process. Notice that Tasha wasn't concerned at all if Diana was a victim of this shooting either. Monet had to cover Diana, getting hit a few times herself in the process. But we also found out at the end of season 3 that Monet survived the shooting. So the big question is, did Monet see the shooter? Diana didn't get as good a look at the shooter as Monet did, but still got a good enough look to know that it wasn't Monet. If Monet did see the shooter, this will have to be another reason for Tasha to stay in Whitsec in season 4. Since she wasn't able to finish the job, as soon as Monet recovers, Tasha will have a bounty on her head. Before working things out with Tasha, Tommy killed 2 marshals who were supposed to be protecting Tasha in the house. Because of that, it is obvious that Tasha's location has been compromised, and she will most likely be moved to a new location. I don't see no circumstance where she stays in the same spot, especially because Monet and the Tejadas have her address. One thing to also keep into consideration is the fact, as far as I know, Diana has never met Tasha and might not even know what she looks like, while Monet and Tasha already had a face-to-face conversation in season 1. So just because Diana didn't recognize the shooter doesn't mean that Monet won't be able to. So with Tasha being in Whitsec and not being able to be found, if Monet did see the shooter, will this put more or less of a target on Tariq's back from the Tejada family? Currently, he has a target on his back because Kane believes he is responsible for shooting Monet. That is because Diana and Drew wanted Monet dead and had a plan to use Tariq to kill Monet, then have Kane kill Tariq. But since Tasha messed up their plan, Drew convinced Diana to blame Tariq anyway. She could have easily said she didn't see the shooter and left Reek out of it, but instead she is only creating more drama. Because when Monet recovers and she knows that it wasn't Tariq who shot her, she's going to be wondering why Diana blamed Tariq. If I was Diana and Drew, I would want to know who the real shooter actually was. Because unlike Tariq, the real shooter didn't care if she hit Diana also. So if I'm Drew and Diana, this is on the top of my mind. I'm thinking we have retaliation from Kai's crew, the Russians, or somebody. I definitely wouldn't have been playing with my life blaming Tariq if there is for real someone out there trying to kill me. Getting me to the question, will Tasha St. Patrick return to a full-time role in Ghost Season 4? This is the longest we've seen Tasha without a love interest. In Power, she had a man every season. Ghost, Sean, Terry Silver, and Q. So most likely Tasha is getting bored in Whitsec anyway and may be ready to start living a normal life again. A lot of people believe that Tasha will need to be killed for Tariq to complete his evolution into becoming a savage. Both Tariq and Kane are mama's boys, so the death of either Tasha or Monet would definitely bring out a darker side of either Kane or Tariq. But currently everyone is being played by Diana and Drew. Even Tariq might actually think that Diana really thinks that he was the shooter and he just went rogue and decided to shoot up the car with her in it. But if Monet were to actually find out the truth that her kids were the ones who set her up, she would have no reason to kill Tasha. Keep in mind that it was Diana, dressed up like Monet, who brought the letter to Kate Egan to give to Tommy. And this is how the whole party got started. Tommy showed up and said Monet gave him the location. In return, Tasha goes after Monet because she thinks Monet was trying to have her killed. Getting me to my plot twist, and that is Monet saw the shooter, but didn't get a good enough look to know that it was Tasha, but only saw that it was a female shooter, and she thinks that it was Noma who shot her to get revenge for Mecca. Keep in mind at the beginning of the episode that Monet had a meeting with Noma, and in this meeting, Noma brought up Mecca and was questioning Monet if she had anything to do with Mecca's death. And even though Monet never actually admitted to killing Mecca, Noma did figure it out because she mentioned Mecca was killed by a former lover. Regardless of that though, Noma understood why Monet did what she did and put her in charge anyway. But Monet could be looking at things from a whole other perspective. She might be thinking that Noma gave her that position just so she would let her guard down by using deception, then came back around and tried to kill her for revenge for Mecca. Then Monet uses the fact that Noma actually really thinks that it was Tariq who shot Monet against her and says that Noma is only trying to use Tariq as a fall guy to get the heat off of her. Because if Monet isn't thinking about Tasha like that, the only female it could be in her mind is Noma. Obviously, Monet and Effie aren't on the best terms either, and I am expecting a Monet and Effie beef in season 4, but Effie and Tasha aren't the same complexion, while Noma and Tasha look a lot more alike, making it easy for Monet to think it was Noma who shot her. And there you have it. Did Monet see who shot her? Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.